The stars outside the viewport burned like distant candles, their light cold and unyielding. The ship hummed softly, a constant reminder of how far I was from home. Earth was a fading memory now, a blue dot swallowed by the vastness of space. I had been a prisoner for weeks, or was it months? Time blurred in the void. My captor was unlike anything I had ever imagined. Her name was Lira, and she was both beautiful and terrifying. Her skin shimmered like liquid silver, and her eyes glowed with an inner light, shifting colors like a kaleidoscope. She moved with an otherworldly grace, her voice a melody that seemed to resonate in my bones. But for all her beauty, she was still my jailer. I sat in the corner of the chamber, my arms wrapped around my knees, trying to ignore her presence. She stood by the viewport, her gaze fixed on the stars. The silence between us was heavy, filled with unspoken words. Finally she turned to me, her expression unreadable. "You must be hungry," she said, her voice soft but commanding. She gestured to a tray of food on the table, strange fruits and meats I didn't recognize. I hadn't touched it. I didn't trust her. "I'm not hungry," I muttered, though my stomach growled in protest. She sighed, a sound that was almost human. "You cannot starve yourself, Ethan. It will not change your situation. What do you want from me?" I snapped, my frustration boiling over. "Why did you take me? Why won't you let me go?" She hesitated, her glowing eyes flickering with something I couldn't quite place. "I did not take you to harm you," she said slowly. "I took you because I need you." "Need me for what?" I demanded. "Experiments. Slave labor." "What?" She stepped closer, and I instinctively shrank back. But she didn't reach for me. Instead, she knelt down, her eyes level with mine. "I need you to be my husband." I stared at her, certain I had misheard. "You're what?" "My husband," she repeated, her voice steady but tinged with desperation. "On my world, it is forbidden for my kind to marry outside our species. But I cannot marry one of my own. I am different. I feel things they do not. I want things they cannot understand. And when I saw you, I knew you were the one." I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "You're insane. You kidnapped me because you want to get married. Do you even hear yourself?" Her expression hardened, and for a moment I thought she might strike me. But then she looked away, her shoulders slumping. "You do not understand. My people are dying. Our numbers dwindle with each passing cycle. We are a species bound by tradition, by rules that no longer serve us. If I do not produce an heir, my line will end. And I cannot bear the thought of that." "So you thought you'd just grab some random human off Earth?" I said, my voice rising. "Do you have any idea how messed up that is?" "I did not choose you at random," she said, her eyes flashing. "I have watched your world for years. I have seen your kindness, your strength, your capacity for love. You are not like the others. You are special." I shook my head, unable to process what she was saying. "This is crazy. I'm not marrying you. I don't even know you." "You will come to know me," she said, her voice softening. "I will give you everything you could ever want. Wealth, power, immortality. You will want for nothing. Except my freedom," I shot back. She flinched, as if my words had struck a nerve. "I cannot let you go," she said quietly. "Not yet. But in time you may come to see this as your home. As I am your home." I turned away, my mind racing. This couldn't be real. It had to be some kind of twisted dream. But the cold metal floor beneath me, the hum of the ship, the alien woman kneeling before me, it was all too real. Days passed, though I had no way of measuring time. Lira continued to bring me food, to speak to me, to try to coax me out of my silence. She told me about her world, a planet of endless oceans and towering crystal cities. She spoke of her people, the Ilarians, a race as ancient as the stars themselves. She told me of their customs, their history, their slow decline. And despite myself, I began to listen. One day, as she sat beside me, I finally broke my silence. "Why me?" I asked. "Out of all the humans on Earth, why did you choose me?" She smiled a small sad smile. "Because you are kind," she said. "Because you have a heart that is open, even in the face of fear. Because I see in you a spark of something rare and beautiful. And because I think I could love you." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I didn't know what to say. How could I respond to something like that? "I don't love you," I said finally, my voice barely above a whisper. "Not yet," she said. "But you could. If you let yourself." I really looked at her for the first time. She was beautiful, yes, but there was more to her than that. There was a sadness in her eyes, a loneliness that mirrored my own. And in that moment, I realized that she was as much a prisoner as I was, bound by duty, by tradition, by the weight of her people's expectations. "What happens if I say no?" I asked. She hesitated, her gaze dropping to the floor. "Then I will return you to Earth," she said quietly. "And I will continue my search. And if I say yes?" Her eyes met mine, filled with a hope that took my breath away. "Then we will build a life together. A life unlike anything you have ever known." I didn't know what to do. My mind screamed at me to refuse, to demand to be taken home. But my heart was another matter. There was something about her, something that called to me in a way I couldn't explain. "I need time," I said finally. "I can't just decide something like this." She nodded, her expression unreadable. "Take all the time you need," she said. "But know this, Ethan, I will wait for you. For as long as it takes." And with that, she left me alone with my thoughts. The days turned into weeks, and slowly, something began to shift between us. I found myself looking forward to her visits, to the sound of her voice, to the way her eyes lit up when she spoke of her world. I began to see her not as my captor, but as a woman who was lonely, who was searching for something she couldn't find among her own kind. And then one day, as we sat together watching the stars, I made my decision. "Lira," I said, my voice trembling. "If I agree to this, if I agree to be your husband, will you promise me one thing?" She turned to me, her eyes wide with hope. "Anything. Promise me that you'll never stop trying to earn my love, that you'll never take me for granted, that you'll always see me as your equal." Tears glistened in her eyes, and she reached out to take my hand. "I promise," she whispered. "With all that I am, I promise." And so I said yes. The ceremony was unlike anything I had ever seen. It was held in a crystal chamber deep within the ship, surrounded by the soft glow of starlight. Lira wore a gown of shimmering silver, and I was given a robe of deep blue, the color of the ocean on her world. We spoke vows in a language I didn't understand, but the meaning was clear. We were bound together not just by duty but by choice. As the ceremony ended, Lira turned to me, her eyes filled with a love that took my breath away. "Thank you," she whispered, "for giving me a chance." I smiled, a real smile, for the first time in what felt like forever. "Thank you," I said, "for seeing something in me that I didn't even see in myself."